I think mindful parenting has to do with paying attention to ourselves and paying attention to the relationship and how what's going on with me as a parent affects my daughters and how what's going on with them affects me, and that it's a dance. So importantly, we both the child and the parent are having their own reaction in this dance, right? We have our downstairs brain that's really ruled by emotion, and it gets triggered for our kids and it gets triggered for us. And then we have our upstairs brain where we're really able to make decisions, pay attention, notice the context, and do what's right for our kids. There's actually even a way of looking at it on our hands. If this is our downstairs brain and this is our upstairs brain, here's where our emotions are and here's what helps us make good decisions, right? For our kids, a lot of times we expect them to be walking around in the world like this, but they're still under construction. Like, they don't even have a fully formed upstairs brain yet, but we do. And so it's on us to pay attention to when our upstairs brain is not engaged in holding our emotions, and when we sort of as parents flip our lid and aren't able to be connected to our kid.
Why does this always happen to me? It makes me so mad that I want to throw this bowl of porridge up in the air and make an angry mess. Did you throw your porridge bowl up in the air and make an angry mess?
No.
Well, then what did you do?
Well, sometimes when I get really angry, I do this. Really angry.
And does that make you feel better?
Sometimes.
Let me try that.
All right.
Really, really angry.
How do you feel now?
I feel a little better.
For years, we sort of talked about tantrums as tantrums, and they were all kind of the same, cut out of the same cloth. Now we know we've got your downstairs tantrum and your upstairs tantrum, and I'll give you an example. A downstairs tantrum is when a kid has literally, they're just swallowed up by their emotions. They've kind of left the building. You see it in their eyes. Their feelings are bigger than they are, and they don't know how to manage it. When a child is in a downstairs tantrum and they're swallowed up by their emotions, if we try to rationalize their behavior with them and ask for a rational response for them in that moment, we're going to get really frustrated, and the next thing you know, two of us are going to have our lids flipped instead of one. In that moment, what's called for is not giving in. So it's not about giving the kid what they want because they're swallowed up by their emotions. But it is about knowing that the response that's called for then is comfort, presence, attunement, and actually completing your kid's brain for them in that moment. They're all downstairs. So that's when we in the relationship come in and finish out the brain for them. We can soothe, comfort, help them get back into that space where they can make good decisions. An upstairs tantrum is when a child is using a reaction to get their own way. For example, we're at the store, they want a toy, they think if they start crying they'll get it, but there's some decision making happening there. In an upstairs tantrum, I think what we've been talking about for years really works and is really important, which is stay consistent, stay calm, don't give in. And it's very tempting to give in, especially when the tantrum is in public. What helps me is to know that if I give in this time, the next tantrum is going to be twice the size, and they're just going to keep upping the ante because they can tell that it works. Two of the favorite things I've learned as a therapist that help me as a mom are to be not so hard on myself, because the researchers have found that even the best of parents are really attuned and connected to their kids about 40% of the time. What makes a difference, though, is those parents also come back and repair the relationship when things go off the track. Another researcher talks about aiming to be the kind of parent we want to be 70% of the time, and letting ourselves off the hook so we don't get caught in that cycle of, oh, I didn't do it right, and then you're not present for the next 10 minutes. So it really is a dance of learning to have high expectations for ourselves in terms of how we interact with our kids, and then being very gentle with ourselves when we get it wrong, because we will get it wrong.
Oh, well, it's just a little mistake, and everybody makes mistakes.
Yes.
There's a number of things that help me. One is just being aware of how important it is, and being aware of how much it affects them when I'm not present. Sometimes that means sitting in my car before I go inside and just breathing and realizing that I'm transitioning from my work hat to my mom hat, and that I never want them to get what's left of me. I want them to get the most of me. It helps to remember that I feel more joyful with them when I'm present, that I'm making memories for them helps me, that I'm setting them up for the rest of their school day. If it's in the morning, that helps me to know, if I'm in a really rushed, frustrated place, that's how they're walking into their school day, and that they're not going to learn as well if that's the start they have in the morning. That makes a difference for me. So I hope this information is useful to you, and I hope that as you face the great challenges of parenting and the great adventures of parenting, you keep the importance of being mindful and present in the forefront, so that as your child comes upon really significant challenges, they know and they feel at the deepest level that you are with them, you're connected, and that they're not alone.